Every second, thousands of people around the world click one simple button, Buy Now. Within days, or sometimes hours, a package arrives at their door. We treat it like a magical, invisible utility. But 30 years ago, this global behemoth was just an idea. In 1994, Jeff Bezos quit his job on Wall Street and started a company out of his garage in Seattle, originally calling it Cadabra. He chose to sell books first, driven by simple math. There were millions of titles in print, far too many for any physical bookstore to keep in stock. An online database could offer a selection that no brick-and-mortar store could ever match. The company quickly rebranded to Amazon, and the sales rolled in. Yet Wall Street analysts were completely confused by the balance sheet. Despite generating massive, exponential revenue growth, the company intentionally bled millions of dollars every quarter. Journalists and early investors openly mocked the operation. Financial analysts joked that Bezos was building a house of cards with his mounting millions in continuous losses, while news sites literally asked if Amazon was a Ponzi scheme. This was a highly calculated strategy. Amazon purposefully sacrificed short-term profits, slashed prices to the bone to capture total market dominance. The official blueprint for this strategy was laid out in Bezos' 1997 letter to shareholders. He emphasized one specific phrase to explain the mounting losses. It's all about the long term. The business model prioritized aggressive reinvestment. Every single dollar of potential profit was poured directly back into expanding their capacity. They wanted to outscale everyone else, regardless of the immediate cost. That relentless customer obsession and willingness to operate at a steep loss became a critical survival mechanism. When the dot-com bubble burst in 2000, thousands of internet startups collapsed almost overnight. Surviving the crash wasn't the final objective. To achieve the scale of an everything store, Amazon shifted its focus toward building out the physical infrastructure of a global supply chain. The first major structural shift happened in November 2000, when the company launched Amazon Marketplace. This allowed third-party merchants to sell their own goods directly on Amazon's platform. It was a brilliant operational move. Amazon could exponentially expand its inventory into electronics, clothing, and toys, entirely bypassing the need to buy or manufacture that stock themselves. But this created a massive logistical headache. They now had to figure out how to physically store, sort, and ship millions of third-party items efficiently. While their competitors relied on third-party shippers, Amazon took a different route. They built a vertically integrated, asset-heavy model, taking direct control over the entire supply chain. They spent billions of dollars constructing hundreds of sprawling fulfillment centers around the globe, and eventually established their own dedicated fleet of delivery trucks and cargo planes. In 2005, they leveraged this network to launch Amazon Prime. 2-day shipping transformed fast delivery from a luxury into a standard consumer expectation, while locking in a base of loyal members who spend more than non-members. By solving their own inventory storage strugglings, Amazon quietly built one of the most advanced physical logistics networks on Earth. Meanwhile, an almost identical crisis was happening in the digital world. The company was facing a massive internal bottleneck, struggling to manage the complex IT infrastructure required just to keep its own booming website online. The existing systems couldn't handle the traffic. Amazon was forced to completely rebuild its digital backend from scratch, designing it to be modular and highly scalable. Then came the realization. Amazon was its own first customer. If they needed this off-site cloud computing space to function, every other tech company and startup would need it too. In 2006, they quietly launched Amazon Web Services, or AWS. Competitors and analysts largely ignored it, handing Amazon a multi-year head start in cloud computing. By fixing the digital plumbing meant to keep their online bookstore from crashing, Amazon built the foundation for a cloud computing model that powers millions of the world's websites. Today, the financial reality of Amazon is surprising. The massive retail division, the cardboard boxes, warehouses, and delivery vans you interact with, actually runs on razor-thin margins and frequently operates at a loss globally. The company's growth is increasingly driven by the financial performance of Amazon Web Services. This chart compares their total retail revenue against their cloud computing revenue. AWS brought in about $90 billion in a single year, making up a much smaller fraction of total sales. But when you look at operating profit, the second graph shows that AWS accounts for the vast majority of the company's actual earnings. Financially, Amazon is primarily a cloud computing business that uses its immense profits to fund a break-even retail empire on the side. This dual dominance in physical delivery and digital hosting creates a new challenge for antitrust regulators, a firm that controls the essential infrastructure its own competitors rely on. Early records suggest Bezos never intended to just build a retailer. His goal was a utility absolutely essential to the economy. Amazon controls key infrastructure for the internet economy, creating a moat incredibly difficult for entrants to replicate. This creates a circular economic loop. Because Amazon controls both the leading e-commerce logistics network and the dominant cloud platform, direct retail rivals often pay Amazon for the hosting and shipping required to stay in business. Amazon conquered the retail world by building the underlying operational infrastructure required to sell everything. They proved that whoever owns the plumbing ultimately controls the economy.